Hello, and welcome to the Mark Z Drumcast. I am your host, Mark Zapata. I am the owner and founder of Mark Z Drums, and I am the host of the Mark Z Drumcast, where you can see every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday here on YouTube. If you would like to learn more about Mark Z Drums, where I come from, and what I do, go ahead and poke around my YouTube channel. Go ahead and subscribe if you like. Hit the notification bell. This way you know when I put up new content, which is coming every day pretty much. But I want to welcome you to the show today. Thank you very much for tuning in. And on Friday's show, what's today anyway? Today's Wednesday. On Monday's show, we talked about timing, the importance of it. This is a recurring topic for me here at the Mark Z Drums Studios because it's super important for us to keep good time as drummers. I talked a little bit about where we can get metronomes. We can find them on our phones, on our farts modes, on our smartphones. We have applications. We have a lot of free metronomes and stuff like that. And so go ahead to the App Store if you are an iPhone user, or Google Play if you are an Android user. And I promise you will find something free that's really, really cool and can be a lot of fun for timing, right? So, honest assessment. How do you feel about your timing? Right? Because by the end of this video, I'm going to give you some really cool and fun exercises that can help improve your timing quickly and significantly. So, honest assessment. How do you feel about your timing? If you play in a band, do you happen to notice your bandmates turning around to look at you at times with a puzzled look on their face? If so, you may be eligible to benefit from this drumcast. It happens. And what we need to realize is that when we are playing in a band, a lot of the bandmates, if not all the bandmates, are looking to us to keep the time. And for us to kind of hold down the tempo so that the rest of the band can lock into us and everybody can be in the same place in the song at the same tempo at the same time. That's what makes for a tight band. That's what makes for a fun experience playing music. And it really is essential when you are playing in a band, when you are playing live music, when you are performing. It is essential. All right. So if you stick around with this video on today's Drumcast, you will find some fun ways to improve your timing and places to find free and easy tools for that. In other words, the metronome. I think metronome practice is overlooked. I often say that if we play along to pre-recorded music, chances are most of the time it's recorded to a click. So if you're on time with the song, chances are your timing is good. But I will say that when you are listening to a song or playing along with a song, it may be difficult to find the drums, right? It might be difficult to figure out where the drums are in the song. They may be buried in the mix. They may be hard to hear over your own drums, especially. So a little tip when you're learning new music and you're playing along to songs, try to act like you are actually in that band. Listen for the bass guitar. Listen for the rhythm guitar. Listen for the vocals to help keep you in time, because a lot of times whatever the guitar player is playing is at a certain tempo of the song. And sometimes you might even be getting eighth notes from that guitar or eighth notes from the vocal melody and the vocal rhythm that you can follow to play your drums. Now, if we are playing along to a song and the drums suddenly disappear, this is a good thing because your drums are masking the drums in the song, right? If you find yourself playing along to a song and you're still hearing the snare drum of the song, it's because you're a bit off and you're not hitting right on the snare drum. So what I always say is when we're playing with a metronome, actually I'll get to that a little bit later. But I think metronome practice can be a really fun and helpful tool to help improve your timing. Always playing along to music is great, but to have a clear, very clear click going on as you're practicing is also super beneficial because it's the only thing going. And we can play along to it. We can experiment over the click. We can play different things, which is what I'm going to do for you today. You may ask, where can I get my very own metronome? Well, you can order a digital metronome online. If you wanted to have, a small portable solution that's going to give you all the options of a digital metronome, but maybe you don't want to use your phone. Maybe you're using your phone for something else, so you want to keep your phone free for something else. Or maybe you're in a situation where you might want to lend it to somebody as in rehearsal or something like that, or you're going over a part of the song or a tempo change or whatever. It might be beneficial to have a separate metronome. It's always a cool thing to have in your gig bag, in your stick bag, or something like that, and always make sure your batteries are good, right? But I think the most convenient and easy way is to download it to your smartphone. Because we always have our phones with us. So therefore, we always have our metronome with us. But maybe you're looking at lyrics or tabs or something like that, and you want to have a separate solution for a metronome, then you could do a digital. I know that Boss makes the Dr. Beat metronome, and Tama makes the Rhythm Watch portable metronome. It's going to cost you about $100, $150, depending on the model you get. But yeah, anyway, so today I'm going to show you a couple of exercises, fun things that I do that can help really improve our timing. Some things to focus on when we're training with the metronome. And I use the word training because we're training ourselves to keep time. We're training our internal clocks. We're developing our internal clocks. So we really are training when we're using a metronome. We're training to be better timekeepers. So, but as we move along and we get better with our metronome play, we will be able to rely less on the external metronome and more on our internal clock. Okay, so we're really training ourselves to recognize even intervals between notes. And this way we'll be able to play music with musicians that is on time. And that is, then we can be relied upon to keep good time. So the point I'm trying to make is that while we train with a metronome, we're not always needing to use the metronome because in a lot of situations we can rely on our own internal clocks. But in a recording situation like I was in last weekend, and we're going to be doing more recording next week, and then hopefully something right after that that'll be a full-length album. Um, but when you're recording, because everybody else has to lock in on the drum tracks, and usually what happens is the drum tracks get recorded first with a scratch guitar, a scratch vocal, maybe a scratch bass. But the drummer is playing along to a click track or a metronome in the ear, and then everybody can play along to the drum track and not a metronome. So in a recording situation, yes, we'll be playing to a metronome or to a click track. But once you develop a good, once you develop a good sense of internal time, when we're playing live and stuff like that, we should be able to rely on our internal time to get us through, you know, and to keep the band on track. A drummer with good time is more valuable than a drummer with super fast hands that does not have good time, because time is all important when it comes to drumming. The flashy chops and fills and the fast hands, that's all icing on the cake. Timing is the most important thing, and I will always say this. Some of the most famous drummers throughout music history are guys that had very, very solid time, like rock solid time, that didn't do a lot of flashy stuff because the music didn't call for it. The situations they were in didn't call for it. The situations they were in, the bands they were in, the music they were writing called for steady, rock solid time. And that's what they delivered. So some of the most famous drummers that you've heard of some of the biggest bands in the world, have drummers that were incredible timekeepers. You know, and that is really, really the focus. Now, yes, we do want to develop fast hands. We want to develop independence. We want to develop all these different skills in drumming. But the first thing we want to really, really lock in is our time. So anyway, what I wanted to do is I set up a little metronome here. In the beginning, I would suggest we keep it simple at 4/4 time. That's interesting. Anyway, in the beginning, I suggest we keep it simple at 4/4 time. And then we start to play quarter notes, eighth notes, eighth note triplets, 16th notes, 16th note triplets, and 32nd notes. I would suggest starting out with a slower tempo, because as we, hold on, let me see this here, because as we get down to the smaller notes, which would be the 32nd notes, then we will have to play them faster, right? So we want to start off the quarter notes at a slow enough pace so that by the time we get to the very small 32nd notes, where there are now 32 notes in a measure, or 8 notes per beat, we want to be able to play those at speed, right? So we want to start off slow. This is my metronome. A couple of quick things about a metronome. Make sure you have the functionality where you can change the sound, where you can change the tempo. I mean, these are basic features where you can change the subdivisions. Get a metronome that is a visual metronome as well, that you can see the numbers passing. In the event you have trouble hearing the metronome, you could look and see the numbers going, and you could sync up to that. They also have some cool metronomes that you might strap around your arm or something, and it buzzes or pulses so that you can have like a touch feel type of metronome where that's your signal. It's not visual and it's not audible. It's just a feel that will help you keep time. That's a cool thing. I've never tried it. I would like to try that one time. But make sure you can change the sound of the click. Make sure that you can highlight the first beat beat number 1 as a different sound than the other 3 beats, because you want to know where the 1 is. Make sure that you can, let me see, what else? Like I said, have different subdivisions and have the subdivisions quieter than the beat so that you can differentiate where the 1, 2, 3, 4 is, where the pulse is, and where the subdivisions are. This is really helpful when you're not sure how to play triplets, when you're not sure how to play 16th note triplets or 8th notes or 16th notes. It gives you a good representation of note relationships and how some notes are a certain speed and then other notes are twice as fast, and so on and so forth. Also make sure that we start off in 4/4 time, which is also known as common time, because 4/4 time is the most common time used in music. So you might, in written music, in notation, you might see a C that represents common time, or 4/4, where 4 beats are in a measure and a quarter note gets 1 beat. Okay, so I'm going to put a little metronome on. I'm going to start off with quarter notes, 8th notes, 8th note triplets, 16th notes, 16th note triplets. What's up, Louie? I'm going to start playing in a minute, buddy, so get ready. And here's the metronome. You'll notice that the 1 is a different sound. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Quarter notes. Here we go. Now we want to make that metronome disappear. And with practice, we can land right on that metronome, right on that click, and make that click disappear with our drum. Now I'm going to do 8th notes, which will be half a beat each. So I'll be playing 2 notes for every click. Here we go. All right, not bad, right? Could use some work, I'm sure. But there's an example of keeping the quarter note pulse going and then playing smaller notes within those quarter notes. Let's do 16th notes. Okay, now you can have an overhead view. Those are 16th notes. So now let's move on to triplets. Let me see if I can show you the subdivisions on my drum set here. Let me see. We've got quarter notes here. Let me see if we do this. Those are 8th note. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... Now if you notice, I'm sure I have a setting for it, but the subdivisions are the same volume and sound as the quarter note pulses. But that's okay. Let's go to 16th notes or triplets. What do we got? Triplets. 8th note triplets. All right. So this gives you a great idea this tells you what eighth note triplets sound like. Let's move it along. 16th notes. We did that before. Now we're going backwards to a half note. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? So now we're playing a bigger note, or we're hearing half notes. So now I'm going to do quarter notes, eighth notes, eighth note triplets, 16th note triplets, 32nd notes. And here we go. See, that's what I said. I started out at 100 BPM. By the time I got to the 32nd notes, a little too fast. All right, so there you have it. I need to work on my speed. So there you go. Now, besides this, we have other things that I like to do, more of a freestyle kind of thing when we're playing with the metronome, playing around with eighth notes, 16th notes, and then different triplets flowing into one another, in and out around the drum kit. And it's more of a creative thing. But it really helps to build our timing when we are doing fills and when we're soloing and we're doing stuff away from the structure of a time keeper like the ride cymbal, the hi-hat, and now we're using the metronome. So let's mess around a little bit like that. Okay, so just some messing around. I think it was pretty good on time, but that's really, really a fun way to just mess around. And then switching time signatures. 5/4, 3/4, 2/4, 6/8, 9/8, 12/8. Those kind of things can really help to develop an understanding of odd time signatures, as they're called, different time signatures. And so we can get into that at another time, but just real quick, 3/4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 1/4 time, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Actually, you're not hearing that. Hold on. Let's start again. Right, so we had 4/4 time. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 3/4 time. 1, 2, 3. 2/4 time. 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. 1/4 time. 1, 1, 1, 1. Very annoying time signature, 1/4 time. All right, now we 5/4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right? It can be really fun to start working on your understanding of odd time signatures and what we can do with them. 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I like 6 time. 7, 8, 9. Right now, one, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we can have fun mixing and matching different time signatures and then different subdivisions within those time signatures. I'm still just scratching the surface of this TD50K V2 drum set. The brain is incredible. The amount of things you can do with it are incredible. The programming features and everything like that. Once I get more familiar with it, I'll do a show on it. And then I'll be able to bring you guys in and show you what this thing is capable of. But anyway, I think that about covers it. Have fun with the metronome. It's a very important tool to use, and it's something that can really, really help you improve your timing and build better relationships with your bandmates. If you have the situation I described earlier where occasionally they turn around and give you an odd look. And just remember, people are relying on us to keep it all going, right? To keep it on time and keep it moving. So don't forget that. Also, if you liked what you saw, hit a like on the video. I'm going to be putting up a bunch of new content very, very soon. I'm working on a couple of really cool, fun drum covers. And so thanks for tuning in. Thanks for checking out my material. And as always, I will see you next time on the Friday edition of the Mark Z Drumcast.